True story. The first time I ever heard this song was when my childhood best friend sang it at a high school talent show. I remember going to his gig and sitting in the auditorium in these wooden flip-down chairs when they came out to play. But something was a little bit strange with the rhythm section. I was looking at the drummer and he had his snare drum and he had his toms, and then where the floor tom usually would be, it was taken away and he had a keyboard there. And it turns out he played the synthesizer part with one hand while the rest of his body played the rock drum beat. My friend sang lead vocals and the crowd went wild. There's just something about this rock anthem that's so satisfying and fun to play. So grab your guitar and let's dive into this Just What I Needed guitar lesson by the Cars. It starts off like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, so I'm starting out on this E chord here, and this is just the low E string, and then 7, 9, 9, 9. It's a standard bar chord there in the 7th position, and we're gonna play a palm muted low bass string there, okay? And I'm just using all downs, and that's using this part of my hand to just mute the string a little bit. 1 and 2 and 3 and then 4. On beat 4, I lift up the palm mute and play the full chord. So it's 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. It does that 4 times, okay? Then we double up. It goes like this. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2. So all I did was add, instead of 4, I did 4 and did twice as many. Again, I'm using all downs here. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 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 3. So it starts out with 4 times just doing the one hit and then 4 times doing the double hit, the 4 and. Here's what that sounds like all together. 1, 2, 3, 4. Double up. Okay, then we go into the verse. I don't mind you coming here wasting all my time. And throughout this song, I may use those full chords like this, and I also sometimes just use power chords, which is actually just the first 3 notes. If I get rid of that low E bass note and I just play 7, 9, 9, that's a power chord there. And we're gonna use some other chords. I'll show you the full chords here. We've got a B, just shifts up to all 6 strings here. 7, 9, 9, 8, 7, 7. Then we have C sharp minor, which just shifts up 2 frets, 9, 11, 11, and then take off that middle finger, 9, 9, 9. And then we're gonna go down to G sharp, okay? And this is 4, 6, 6, 5, 4, 4. And it's really the same chord as B, just shifted down. And then we also have an A, which just moves up 1 fret. Now all of these chords are in the key of E major, except for one of them, the G sharp. Normally in the key of E major, we would have a G sharp minor chord. So that's one thing we're gonna have to navigate, especially when we get into the solo, which we're gonna talk about later. But to help you understand this better and just see these chords written out, what I wanna give you is a gift, and it's my fretboard guide. Just go to johnmclennan.com/fretboard guide. And on this, you'll see, a lot of these shapes. You'll see this A shape here and this E shape here, and I'm calling them an A shape because they're based off just open position chords barred up the neck. But you'll see these chord shapes, and then you'll also see scales to go with them, and that's going to help you for soloing. So you can get this completely for free. Just go to johnmclennan.com/fretboard guide and grab that as my gift to you. So when we go to the verse, we have all those chords, but we're going to play just power chords. So it's going to go. Okay, and I'm playing 1 bar per chord. So it's E, 2, 3, 4, B, 2, 3, 4, C sharp, 2, 3, 4, G sharp. And to play those power chords, I'm just playing the first 3 notes. So instead of like full chord like this, I'm just playing this note, and this note. So strings 6, 5, and 4. And I'm keeping an 8th note rhythm, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and with the strum hand all downs and then palm muted. Okay, then it goes again. We do this 3 times. And then we go to a little variation. So you can play the E here. You can also play an open E down here. And you hear this on the recording. It goes down to the lower E chord. But keep in mind, there are several guitar parts, and we'll talk about more of that in a second. But what I'm showing you is just like one main guitar part, grabbing the most important parts and putting it together. So here we go down to that E chord, and we go 1 and 2 and on the and a 2, I like adding this little sus there. So that's an E chord, and then I just add my pinky down on the 3rd string, 2nd fret, and go. Then we go up to the 7th fret, this B chord here, play kind of a Keith Richards move like this. It's just the B chord, but I roll my pinky over and get the 9th fret on the 3rd and 2nd strings like this. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 2 and 3. So it's on 2 and 3 that I do the pinky roll. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. So backing up. Then you go down to G sharp, A. And here, in this whole last 4 bars coming out of the verse there, I'm not palm muting anymore. All right, so let's put this entire section together so you can hear what it sounds like played as one piece. Get set, and I'll count you in. 1, 2, here's the verse. Start building, lifting up the palm mute. All right, next we go to the interlude, and this is where the synthesizer plays a little synth part. We're gonna play E, almost the same thing, back to palm muted though. C sharp, G sharp. The second time though, go up to C sharp, and then go A. Back to the verse, okay? So there are some little bluesy kind of embellishments in there, like you'll hear 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Okay, and what that is just like, it's a blues shuffle riff just put into a rock rhythm. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 2 and 3 and 4. Down to G sharp. Again. C sharp, and then A. Okay, now the second verse, here's more of kind of the alternate guitar parts. As one is going like, just chunking the rhythm like this, there's one that just hits the downbeats like 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4. Just chord stabs on the one while another guitar player is holding down the palm muted 8th notes. And these are just different layers that come together. If I was playing one, I would just probably hold the chunking rhythm. I might accent them. You could blend it like, you know, and kind of accent that first beat as just a blend of both of those parts. Now, we go back. We do the verse again. Out of the verse, we go into the chorus, and this is where they sing, I guess you're just what I needed. That's gonna sound like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so here's the first part. We're gonna go E to B, A, C sharp, B, B. All right, now rhythmically, we have a lot of syncopation. So let me count it out for you. We're gonna go 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 1. Here it is again, that same thing. 1, and 2, and 3, 4, 2, and 3, and 4. Okay, then the second time we go 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, and we just hold that C sharp. Okay, so I guess you're just what I needed. I needed someone to be. 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 2, and 3, and 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, right there we have a 6/4 bar. So watch out for that. And then we go back to the verse section. All right, let's talk about the guitar solo next. Now here, we're gonna do something a little bit interesting. I'll give you some cool ideas for soloing. Now we're gonna start just looking at this. 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, and 3. And this is the chords that it's going over. Okay, so we've got E to B, C sharp to G sharp. Okay, that's the first 2 bars. Then E to B, C sharp to A. It's the same thing, but just the last chord changes. Now remember that the G sharp is actually not in the key of E major. So all of these chords are in the key of E major except for that one. Okay, so E is good, B is the 5 chord, C sharp minor is the relative minor, the 6, A is the 4, G sharp is a major 3 chord. Now the notes in this chord are G sharp, B sharp, and D sharp, okay? So here's the challenge, okay? You want to get the rhythm down, play it into like a looper pedal or just record yourself playing that progression over and over. Now level 1 is just solo using notes from the E major scale. Now this will sound good, but it's gonna have a little bit of a tension when you go to that G sharp, okay? There's gonna be a little bit of a tension there, and it also won't sound like you're quite nailing the changes, but it'll still work, and I'll give you an example of just hearing that scale with some licks over the progression. 1, 2, 3, 4. So you can hear when it goes to the G sharp, there's a little bit of rub. But now the next challenge is to try and, in the middle of your solo, when you hear that G sharp every other time, to go to either a G sharp, a B sharp, or a D sharp, wherever you are on the neck. And I'll give you an example of that. So that's a slight change there, but what I did was start playing through the chord changes. So I was intentionally hitting specific chord tones at that one moment. So give it a try for your solos, and to really work this out anywhere on the neck, grab my free fretboard guide. Just go to johnmclennan.com/fretboard guide. This is going to show you the system that I use for mapping out the fretboard. And I put it all on one page, but it's going to be the most useful one-page PDF for learning the fretboard that you'll ever see. And it's completely for free, so hope you enjoy that as my gift to you. As always, thanks for watching, and if you like this video, I think you'll really like this one next.